Good morning, everybody, from a sunny Amsterdam again. Well, good to see everybody waking up this hour again. I'm here with Alison Keogh from Ireland. Again, here from the Novotel where we're staying. For everybody, we are tested this morning, negative.
Yeah.
Negative as well. Daily check at 7:30. So that's why we're standing so close to each other, and otherwise you couldn't see us. First of all, can I ask to close up the mics and the camera for everybody, so everybody is able to hear us well and to see us as well, as the session is recorded as well. So if you don't want to be in the recording, just close up your mic and your camera. Well done, thank you so much. And today we're going to talk about positioning. With Alison Keogh. Alison, can I ask you to introduce yourself to the viewers back home this morning?
Yeah, hi. Well, as Coen says, I'm from Ireland, living in Dublin. I have my FIH badge since 2013. This is my third Europeans, about 82 caps now, and hopefully a couple more to come. So
perfect. Good to have you here. First of all, because this is a morning coffee with Alison, how do you drink your coffee?
With milk, please.
Only milk?
Yeah.
Only milk, no sugar?
No, sweet enough.
All right. So as we're I'm more like an espresso guy. So cheers. There you go. All right, Alison. Just first to start off with some questions on the tournament.
Yeah.
As you said, this is your third European Championship so far. I think this is after a year with no hockey.
Yeah.
How do you find it to be back on the pitch with some crowds? How do you find it?
It's great. It's lovely to see people kind of at games again. We've not had any league hockey in Ireland since September or October, so it's been a while since there's been people watching games around us. So it's great. It actually feels like getting back to normal, and it's just like a click of the button or the switch, and you're back into it. So great.
Yeah, and also I've been to the stadium, of course, a couple of times now, but seeing the crowd enjoying the game again, and they are like young people going in and eager to watch the hockey, and even when Holland is not playing, they are there. So it's nice to also to see that also on the other games the stadium is quite full. Yeah. You umpired yesterday. Can you tell us something more about that?
Yeah, so Germany-England, tight game. Those two teams will always give you a tough match. So really enjoyable. To be back out there doing that kind of level again. Germany ended up winning 2-0, but it was a game that you just couldn't relax in almost because teams like that, anything can happen. So it's a tight pool. So plenty more big games to come.
Yeah, and this was your second game, huh?
Second game, yeah.
So your first game was?
Scotland, Spain.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yesterday's second, and tomorrow you're going to be the third one?
We'll see.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. All right, so we're going to talk about positioning right now. Yesterday with Ben, we spoke about body language and setting your decision. Can you maybe give the viewers back home some advice, and also why positioning is so important as an umpire?
Yeah, well, for me, positioning is probably the most important thing, because if you don't get your positioning right, then everything kind of goes with it. You may not see the foul properly, you may not interpret it properly, and then your management changes because of that. So if your positioning is right, you're in a really good position to make both the right call and the right management decision. And it's also really important to sell your decision, because if you're too far away and people are looking at you and you're making a big call, it's hard to convince them that you've been able to see it. So it's probably, I would say, the most basic but the most important component of a game.
And do you see differences between the men's side of the game or the ladies' side?
Yeah, I think the men's passing range is so much faster and longer, and even like their aerials can go so much further, that I feel the men have more space as umpires to be a little bit further apart, whereas I think On the women's game, we often are closer to the play because we have to be. So certainly in men's games, I would hold back more than I do in women's. I tend to move more in the women's games. So
okay, and guys, if you have any questions for Alison or me on positioning, but mainly for Alison, of course, please pop them in the chat. We did receive some questions before this session, so we're gonna answer them. And for the question, for the person who asked the best question or the most interesting question, we do have a little giveaway, and Alison and I will decide who that little giveaway will win. So. Don't be nervous. I know it's only 6 minutes past 9, but you can ask your questions and pop them in the chat. The first question that was sent in: if there's a quick turnover from a penalty corner.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is a difficult one as well, and in a difficult situation. But what is the moment that you decide? Go. What is the moment?
For me, it obviously depends on the situation, but it's often quite clear that there's a defender who has the ball, who has the position to make a clear pass. And if you see that open channel, just go. Assume that they're going to take it and go as quickly as you can.
Yeah.
It's easier if that is the opposite side of the pitch, because it gives you a diagonal line to get back. But when it's on your side, you have to be really on top of knowing when that defender is about to make that pass. So the moment they get the ball
and go.
Yeah.
And being proactive, do you at the penalty corner, do you also watch and scan where the other players are, so you know which side most probably they will go? Or
yeah, absolutely. Quick look over the shoulder beforehand, to see where the attackers are standing, and how many they have up there as well, because that might depend on the stage of the game. But yeah, I think we're always aware that possibility is there, and so quick scan helps.
All right, so there's a question from Richard: do you have to go as fast as the players?
Depends how fast the players are.
But the main objective is being on time in a circle.
Absolutely, yeah, and so you have to be there at least with them, if not before them.
Yeah, and so what happens if you're too late? Do you go all the way around, or the shortest way?
Shortest way. Your circle is obviously your most important part. So the quickest way you can get there without getting in the way is the most important thing. So usually, if you've made that decision to go fast enough, you'll have the time to get back and to avoid getting in the way of the players. But you just need to get there as quickly as you can in the shortest way possible.
Yeah. So and so and also I think it's very important to then to have the best view on the situation.
Yeah.
So don't go all the way around, the long way around, and follow the most common positioning path.
Yeah.
But go. Just go.
Yeah.
There's a question popping in. If you're feeling under pressure, perhaps due to a mistake, do you adapt your positioning to manage that pressure?
Ooh, good question.
And even those questions on this hour, it's
more awake than I am. It depends. I suppose it depends how the play is happening. So sometimes if it's a very even game, and both teams are quite almost 50-50, that they're coming up and down, then you don't really have the opportunity to adjust your position. You just have to keep going with the game. Sometimes if we say the play is coming all towards you and you've made a mistake, maybe you might just make sure that you might hold back just to make sure that you don't make another mistake in the circle. But to be honest, the most important thing is when you've made that mistake is to get it out of your head and just focus on what's in front of you. So I probably wouldn't change my positioning that much. You just want to focus on the game that's right there, and the position and the decision that's right in front of you.
Yeah, very good. Guys, just a quick huishoudelijke mededeling. Jacques-Hein Vermolen, kun je je camera uitzetten alsjeblieft? Dankjewel. Sorry.
I understood.
Yeah, okay. Perfect. Turn off your camera. Perfect. All right, so Jan Dekker has a question because the thing that you just said. why do you need to be closer to the ball in a women's game than in a men's game? I think he misunderstood. The word need is not.
Yeah, it's not so much need to. It would just be. It kind of depends on the range of passing. So as I said, sometimes you always need to prepare for what's coming next.
Yeah.
So in the men's game, they often can throw longer aerials or quicker, longer passes than the women's game, that you can find that there's more space for balls that'll just go the whole length of the pitch. And so because of that, you want to make sure that you're in the position, that you're protecting your circle, that you're ahead of play the whole time. So you end up being further away from the ball because of that. It's almost anticipating it.
Yeah. So the word need is not the correct one, but it's possible to get more close because of the game. Patrick has a good question. You're both of a different length. So
we had different setting up.
Yeah, sorry guys. And no. Does that have an influence on your positioning because you observe the game differently? Well,
yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
You can look down. I'm looking through everything.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. And I would also find that in the difference between men's and ladies hockey, in that it's not only the range of passing.
Never thought of it, actually.
Yeah, like there's all these tall people in front of me that's looking around. Yeah, if you look at, like, me and Coen will not stand in the same place in the circle. Now, what I can't do is say, this is where you should stand, and you can't ever do the same. Positioning is so personal, and part of that is how fit you are, how tall you are, how experienced you are, the type of game that it is. There's so many things. I think one of the most important things of positioning is to know how to adjust it to the game that's in front of you.
And always be flexible.
Yeah.
Because it's not one spot is the correct thing. No, be flexible and understand where you have to stand to get the right angle.
Yeah.
To see the call that you have to make. So even Alison is a bit shorter. Sorry. It makes Alison more flexible than me. Most probably, if we would umpire a men's game, I will be standing in my circle, quite relaxed within.
I'll be moving.
And you're moving and jumping around.
Yeah.
And only searching for the right angle and the right position. And I think that's the key as well. And as you just said, there's not always go for the right angle and the right position to see the play.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter wherever you stand. Well, of course there are some guidelines, but those are just guidelines.
Yeah.
So be flexible. Good question, actually. Joost van der Voorst asked, what agreements do you make between you and your colleague regarding positioning, especially where you support them in their circle? So, do you want me to get the board out?
Yeah, get your board out.
Okay, guys. So I prepared something. And for all those who are watching, I know it's only one half, but it makes life more easy. Wait. Here we go. I feel like the weatherman now.
Sunny.
Yes, sunny in Amsterdam. All right, so I do have some pens. Yeah, you can see the circle right now. Perfect. So the question is, especially I think in the far side of the 25 in the circle, what kind of agreements do you make regarding?
Yeah, again, that's going to depend on the type of game you have and how it's going. So if you have a game that's all going this direction and your colleague just has all the play, then as the disengaged umpire, you're probably likely to maybe step inside the pitch a bit more and take further across, and particularly in here and kind of between the halfway and 25. But also if it's really crowded in here, then you can take that because it's more helpful. There's too many people in front of your colleague. But if it's a much more open game where you're not coming up as high, or maybe you're not stepping inside as much, well, then this area becomes a shared area that it's both of yours to call. Whoever has the best angle, whoever can see it best in terms of the space. We would talk about saying, doesn't matter once the right decision is made in around that area. So very much depends on how the game is going, what type of game it is, and
yeah.
flow.
Yeah. So the agreements, the things that you discuss before the game is, and you can always adjust within the quarters. In the 2 minutes rest that there is, just maybe adjust if you see that the game is changing with pressure or no pressure. And of course, those are the basics. If there's a full 25 with 21 players, don't stand on the center line, but go a bit further and help your colleague and discuss this before the game, so you understand and know, okay, whatever happens here, I can rely on my colleague.
Yeah.
Good question. Well, we've got a question from sunny South Africa, actually.
Oh.
From a fellow shorter person. So that's well, how do you manage to keep sight on the ball when the ball is on the other side of the pitch in your circle area? Well,
yeah, it's this is like the hardest area.
Exactly.
for anybody, I think. But I certainly feel it. Again, that's the kind of thing that you're going to talk to your colleague about to let them know. Sometimes I'll always say, this is a tough spot for me. So, if you see a free out, tell me. And it's great. Obviously, at this level, we have radios that you just get the answer immediately. But in club games, maybe if you don't have radios, then I think it's really important to let them know how you look for help. So, I always stand on my toes and try and make myself tall.
Did exactly what you do now, standing on your toes and help. That's a signal for all over the world. It doesn't matter if you're umpire in China, in TNT, South Africa, it doesn't matter. That's a common thing. If your colleague wants help, most of the times he stands, oh, help. And everybody will understand if the other umpire will help. So that's the rule thing of, absolutely, I need help. So, good thing.
But I would find, though, that kind of as Coen said earlier, I move an awful lot in here. I feel like I never stop moving. And it's not that I'm moving far, but it might be 1 step, 2 step back. Even you kind of try to avoid ducking, short enough as it is. But just adjusting ever so slightly to get that side of the ball. Don't just find a spot and stay there. It's really important, particularly if it's really busy over there, to keep moving if you can.
Yeah, and also another question about penalty corners. We will address that later on in the session, because that's I think one of the most important things as well, and where I saw the last couple weeks and especially this week as well, some differences. So in the things that we're doing. So we're gonna come back on the penalty corner later on. Just another question: How do you best address to the players they should not raise their hands when
miss something?
Miss something.
To be honest, I kind of don't mind if they just raise their hand. I think that's
instinctual.
Yeah, and sometimes it does help. Yeah. Oh, I missed something. Sometimes it does actually help, because it might be the moment where you then look for help because you realized you've not seen something. What you don't tolerate is them running towards you, aggressively asking a question, or all of them coming into you at once. Then we're into a crowding situation. But a couple of hands,
that's instinct.
Yeah, and I'd ignore that most of the time. I think it's fine, so I wouldn't usually interact with it.
No, because especially, I was watching your game as well, and also the Holland-Spain game, and it's quite funny to see, even at the 1-0 of Holland, which was touched by the Spanish defender, before the ball crossed the line, her hand was up. No, it was not me. Yeah, it's a goal. So, that's just pure instinct. And how do you review as umpires the game, and is positioning an important topic to look at?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I think because you'll probably find, if there are moments where you look back and you think, well, why didn't I see that? Or I'm not sure if I saw that or interpreted it properly. When you go back, you'll more often than not find that you probably weren't in the best position at the time. And the game is so fast, and you'll never be able to see absolutely everything. Your positioning will not be 100% the through. So it's first of all making sure that you're in the right position for the critical moments, and then when you're reviewing that to see if there's anything that you could have changed. Were you kind of thinking about something that happened before and that adjusted your positioning? Had something distracted you? Was it a moment where you were just tired? So try and go back and think, well, why wasn't I maybe in the right position for that? But it would definitely be one of the key things that we would look at in the review. And
also when there's a free hit around the circle, of course the 5 meter distance is very important. When the ball is taken quickly or not, so everybody has to go back on 5. Is there anything, if it's on the opposite side of the circle, is there anything that you do in your positioning? Maybe step in, or what do you do? I would step in a little bit more and then maybe kind of out. So you'll find me sometimes looking like I'm in the middle of the circle, but I'm always ready to get back out of the way. There are some people that will see where I stand and go, oh, but you probably never stand there. But that comes back to the personal thing of it. I know that I'm there and I've got to get out of the way if it comes to me. But again, particularly around here, if they've all got their backs to me, I need a lot of help. I think everybody does. Did it hit a hand? Did it hit a foot? Did it hit a stick? And that's where you look for the support from your colleague to say, fine, nothing, or actually if you've missed it, to give the quick free for you. I'm not proud around here. It's the right decision. So but also I think as a colleague umpire, if it's on this side and with a crowded circle, why not blow for the 5 meter distance when you have the time as this umpire? If it is not all the work that when the ball passed the center line, that all the work must be done by this umpire. No, we're still a team. So, and please say if so if the ball is somewhere in this area and the engaged umpire is busy with managing her or his circle, if you see that there's a player not on 5 meters from this side, just step in, and come a bit over the center line and then go out again. But that's teamwork. So especially with a crowded circle, help each other out. That's very important, I think. On the penalty corners. So when you're the engaged umpire, what is the safest, the best option to stand in? Again, this is so personal that some people prefer being on the baseline. I personally prefer kind of being between the post and the little dash. Right. Are you going to put in a dash? Yes, you are. Here's the dash. So I would often be just ahead of the baseline, probably in around here. But I know that you'll see other people standing back here, closer, further away. Again, there's no, this is the spot. No. It's where it's comfortable for you to be able to see the shot, the line, everything that you need to see, and everything that might happen in the middle as well. And then move. So, once that first shot is taken, that you're not just standing still, that you're adjusting yourself, whether that means coming out or whether it means coming back in, whatever the play requires you to do. And also and so what the play, but also the game and the level of the game requires. In the lower level, at club level, it might be more safe to the ideal. Sorry, the weatherman. So in this area, I think that's the most common thing. But if you're not confident to stand there, you think, well, that's a bit dangerous. No problem. As long, if you're standing, as long as the first go into the circle. So especially at club level, it is not dangerous to stand at the second. How do you call it in English? Dash. Dash. Okay. Het tweede streepje in Nederlands. Sorry. So just go somewhere here and feeling more confident and. By umpiring more games, you can just move a bit closer and say, okay, well, every time a little step towards the goal, that's safe. As long as you're confident to stand there and feel safe and comfortable. And of course, you have to see the things that will happen after the penalty corner in this area. So, get a bit closer. The more confident you get, the more to the goal. But what do you advise on how close to the goal? 1 or 2 meters from the post?
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't go closer than
No.
that.
No. Please.
Yeah.
Please not closer. That's not safe at all times. Just on the penalty corner. Let me see if you can. I have to get it a bit back. Yeah. All right. So guys, so this is the engaged umpire. Now we're going to talk about the disengaged umpire. So the guy who stands on the center line. I saw you yesterday. I saw you standing. Yeah, you can see it. I saw you standing here somewhere.
Yeah.
So not in the middle where what we used to. Is there a particular reason for that?
Yes, I can't see when I stand here.
Duck.
Yeah, well, for me, this kind of came up. You'll probably see a lot of the women's umpires, in particularly at international level, do this. At the World Cup, we were advised that this might be a better thing to think of and to try it out. And the rationale was that at any other point in the game, if you're looking to help your colleague in or around their circle, you'd never stand here. You'll stand up here and you'll
With
always,
an angle.
With an angle,
Yeah.
yeah. And so that's the really important thing that we're looking at here, is that this angle, kind of at a 45, I suppose, gives us a view of the height of the first shot, of obstruction, even lets us help whether it's come outside the line. It helps manage this top piece better. It also then means that if the ball does come out, that you're already ahead of play, because you're closer to the sideline, means you can get back faster. You're not in no man's land.
So this is actually the old really old-fashioned way of positioning. But as you say, I think it's more logical, especially in lower level when there's no video umpiring.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing that we have to say and to help maybe if it's hit the stick or the leg of the first runner. Yeah. And with an angle, you know, it makes me think.
Yeah. The one thing we thought was a little bit tricky of it is that you maybe don't have the greatest view anymore. Like if you're standing here, you can see whether that ball is on target or not. But actually, this person, depending on where they stand, and yourself, between you.
How often does this happen?
Exactly. Yeah. Whereas this happens literally every
time.
Yeah. So for me, I was actually never very comfortable back here, because I felt like I was never entirely sure where it hit, because I was looking straight at it. And when we were told to try this, I just felt much more comfortable there.
Yeah. So guys, again, and that's I think the main thing in this talk is that it doesn't matter where you stand, especially at the penalty corner, as long as you're confident that you see the play, and having the right positioning and the right angle to take the right call, and to help your colleague, I think. So that's So I might shift a bit to the style. Yeah, no, I will actually, because you know it makes more sense as well, and especially on the fast break, as we discussed earlier, in the middle. Yeah, you first go out and then go back. So now you can. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Hey, and another question coming in. So when is the timing that you change your mindset on going back to your own circle? So what's the?
It's when I'm up here.
No. Just in any place. So not at a penalty corner.
Turnover is
exactly
the biggest thing. Yeah. So if the opposition get the ball, and particularly if you see that there's, a couple of players that they can pass the ball to ahead of them, go.
Yeah.
So a turnover would be the trigger, I suppose, to move.
Yeah, and move, and don't wait till the play is coming towards you. No, turnover means go, and it take already 5 or 10 meters, and because if there's an open play, especially on the sideline. Just go towards the circle. That's the way they want to go. So go towards the circle already and take 5 or 10 meters, because those are the first 5 or 10 meters that you gain on them. Yeah. So staying ahead of the play. So not wait before they pass you. No, go and then look over your shoulder to see what's happening there. So turnover means go. Yep. Go. Any other particular things on positioning when? So as a as the disengaged umpire, So when the defenders from this side are trying to start the attack again, where do you start your your run here somewhere?
So on a free out or on
free out.
Okay, so well, again, that kind of depends. If they set up, then you have time to slowly come back, but to see where they're likely to play, because again, you can check, do they have someone high that they might try and aerial it? Is this team full pressing them?
Exactly.
You know, there's so many things that you can look at. But if they get a free out and they decide go, well, then that's the same as a turnover almost. You know, you just go as quickly as you can. So it depends.
Yeah, and also you know, if there's a high pressure here and there are no attackers on your own half, don't worry, because before they are over the center line, it takes 10 seconds, and then you can adjust your
positioning.
Sorry, sorry, on the pitch again. So look how the play goes, you know, and always scan as well. So as a disengaged umpire, just don't look only at the ball, but scan where all the other players are. And then you can always be proactive and be one step ahead of the game, so you can adjust your positioning straight away. So question, does it happen that you get surprised by a turnover and you have to sprint to keep up and run behind the ball? No, that never happens.
I was just gonna go, yes.
Of course.
Yeah. But you hope that doesn't happen too often. And to be fair, I don't think it does. If you're planning ahead, then it doesn't happen too often. There's always surprises, so you just have to be ready for them and go.
Exactly.
When they happen.
Exactly. No, you know, that's of course. Everybody happen. You know, but make sure that it doesn't happen 10 times in a game.
Yes. Yeah.
Because then it's one big show. Now, so
and you're tired.
And you're tired, and that's something we trying to avoid by getting on the right spot. So and the only way you can solve that is by scanning what's happening behind you.
Yeah.
So and always take the last attacker as a guideline. You know, okay. So as long as you know that he's standing there, then you will not be surprised. Any advice on if you're the engaged umpire here and on the sideline there's a foul? This is a difficult area for me.
Yeah.
So if the attack is coming your way, what is your positioning if it comes if the play is coming towards you?
Yeah, well, you want to try and avoid getting stuck in kind of the corner here, that long way back to the circle. You know, no matter what type of game, time of the game it's in, we want to avoid that. But obviously we still need to see what's happening here.
Yeah.
But there's two things. First of all, again, your colleague can help if it's something really obvious that you've missed, and we can tell them that. You know, if I'm standing on my baseline and there's a foot here, you're closer to it, so you can take it. But one of the things that you do to try and prevent that, for me, again, it's all about the angles. So if there's a ball on the sideline, I'll actually probably be inside, looking back at the 45, rather than off the pitch, looking at the 45 on the other way, because that allows me to be closer to my circle, but also it gives me the same line as if I was standing off the pitch. It's just flipped the other way.
Yeah.
But angles are everything.
Angles are everything. And you want to ask a question, how many Ks do you run during a game?
I don't know, actually. Well,
really?
I haven't done it in a while. Yesterday I did around 13,000 steps. I don't know what that is.
Well, your steps.
Same as for you. I think it's around, but it'll depend. In an international, it'll be anything between like 5.5 to 6.5 K.
Yeah, it's the same at the men.
Yeah.
So when was it? I don't know. Saturday was my first game. I did 5.6 Ks. Yeah. So that's average between 5.5 and 6.5. I think that's. And if you see on the thing that you show your heartbeat and the GPS, you see that most of the times you're just walking.
Yeah.
Slow running, and the number of sprints, well,
hopefully low.
Hopefully low. Exactly. Before we go to the next question, I'll ask you, to sign the mug, and with a special message for the guy or the girl who asked the the most interesting question.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to read out the appointments for today. So there you go. So take a deep breath, think of something nice. Because guys, at 12:30, this the first game is Belgium-Russia. And Sean Edwards from England and Daniel Rodriguez, my roomie from Spain, will umpire this one, with Paco Vasquez as a video umpire. Then we have France-Germany, umpired by Marco Pontes from Belgium, together with Dan Barstow. Dan, there you go. With Alison as video umpire. Hey. And then Spain-England, that's at 5 o'clock. It's going to be an old Dutch affair with with Michiel Otte and myself, with Ben Goetje from Germany as a video umpire. And the last game at 8 o'clock, live broadcasted on the Dutch television, of course. Holland against Wales. It's umpired by Xavier Venard from France, with Sebastian Michielsen from Belgium, with Ivona Makar from the ladies' side as well, from Croatia as video umpire. And all the games you can watch, of course, on the EHF live stream program. And the Dutch game you can watch on NOS. I think, well, on the open channel, or otherwise on the internet as well. And we love to eat the green veggies there. Yeah, so that's why it's there. Then no worries. What do you do as a video ref in between the questions?
Watch the game.
Watch the game. Enjoy the game.
Well, you're always be ready for a question, so you just you keep focused on the game.
Exactly. And yeah, prepare, and also just watching the game and knowing that the feeling is there that there might be a video call, so you all
always ready.
Already. Did you manage to let's go.
I thought we were going all the time.
Let's go. All right. So yeah. So this gonna be well, for the person in a few minutes. We're gonna announce who that is. Let's see. Is there anything else on positioning that you want to discuss here?
No, I think that the takeaway message is get your angles right, be prepared, and always be flexible. Yeah,
be flexible and not stick to one thing.
Yeah.
To one spot on the to the play, to the game. Be flexible, and the pitch is long, the pitch is wide, so get the right place to stand in, and to have the right angle to look at, play at. Is the video appointed by the technician, or do you have to operate the equipment yourself?
Oh, the TV guys do that. Yeah. I have enough to do. Basically we're there and we ask them for different camera angles, and they do all of that. They'll give us the angles, they can see everything themselves, and they'll pick out the view that we need. So exactly. All you have to do is ask for the right thing.
Exactly. And is there anything? Patrick has also a question. Do you consider the position of the other umpire to adjust your positioning? So if you see that one guy is all the way somewhere here, do you adjust your own, or is it just your own circle and that's the?
I would say that kind of depends. So sometimes you'll find in different phases of the game. Say yesterday there was a couple of players that were keeping very high, and I was with Ivana and she said, they're high, so I went go. So if I know that she's having to stay quite deep, well then I know that I might have to cover more in the halfway area, so I might come closer or maybe step inside. So that more depends on, because the game has asked for it rather than, and she's responding to the game. But at this level, I suppose we know where people stand and we kind of expect patterns. If it's a lower league game and someone just isn't moving out of their 25, well then probably you'll have to do a little bit more work, and if you're able to manage the game a bit more yourself. So it depends is like the answer to everything.
True. All right. Well, Alison, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I do have a little present for you. There you go. For everybody back home, tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, there's a Q&A with the Dutch umpires. So it is going to be in Dutch with Imke, Michiel, and myself. That's at 7 o'clock prior to the Dutch ladies game. So at 7 o'clock tomorrow, 7 p.m. with Michiel, Imke, and myself, the Q&A. So please join. And on Thursday morning at 9, I was a bit confused today, but at 9, we have Sarah Wilson standing here next to me, talking about communication with the players, how important that is. So please join in, register, or just follow the link on the website to join Thursday morning at 9 with Sarah Wilson. But now it's the time for the giveaway. Personally,
yeah, I know which one you're gonna ask.
Exactly. So, Marco Ackerman from South Africa, actually.
Right. Well, jeez, look at the postage.
This one is coming to South Africa. Please send a message. One of my colleagues is going to contact you for your address. So we're going to mail this all the way to South Africa to you. Guys, thank you so much for the interaction, for this morning coffee. Thank you so much for being here with us. Enjoy the weather wherever you are, in South Africa, India, or Holland, or Amersfoort, or The Hague. It doesn't matter. Enjoy it today. Enjoy the games that are played here in Amsterdam. And enjoy your game as umpire. And I truly hope that you enjoyed it yourself.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
Perfect.
Nice chat.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye. See you.